Oh no, we are live.
We're live!
Yay!
Yay! UK Games Expo! Whoop, 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 whoop. Very exciting for me, at least. The rest of the team trying to drag you into it.
We are here.
Not the Game Expo experience I was expecting.
No. So I was thinking about it. It's probably a little bit better because we could do more stuff with the authors.
What? I've got 600 quid to piss away the next 4 hours.
Oh, that's
People
true.
have sales. It'll be fine.
I'm going to have to mail order it all.
I am devastated about not being able to go to the jumble sale. I had high hopes and plans for that this year.
There's jumble sales in your town or village too?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, they're not the same. They're not just made up of games that I used to have in the 80s and 90s and then my parents threw away. Yeah, those things are all to be reacquired.
Have you ever picked up anything that's had your initials on? That would be absolutely fascinating.
No, I haven't. Like an old Transformers toy with the initials carved in its foot. That'd be delightful.
A friend of mine, very, very kindly, he was a gamer from very early, in the earliest days of role playing, and he gave me his copy of Empire: The Petal Throne, the alternative D&D, first written in the early 70s by Professor M.A.R. Barker, which is based on Hindu mythology, very organic, complex, arcane thing. But it's got all of his hand-drawn character sheets and personal notes inside from when he was 12 and 13, and it's the sweetest thing. It really is.
Oh, that's really nice. I like that stuff. I found a nice copy of Gounod's Faust in a charity shop in Cambridge years ago.
Gounod's copy. Wow.
Yeah, I know, amazing. And it's got all the
Satan's copy. That would be terrible.
It's got all the tickets and the program for performance of it in the 1930s. I was like, this is great. I was really pleased. It's like a fiver. I was like, perfect. That's the purchase experience that I'm looking for in the world.
It's not always good if you buy a book or indeed a game that someone's written all over, but sometimes you find little artifacts, particularly these days when you find yourself eBaying copies of some old obscure RPG from way back from the dawn of TSR or GW, finding people's half-finished dungeons and character sheets in there. And of course, one's own as well, stuffed in the back of things.
That's true.
I was going to say, I've been on holiday this week, and I've been sorting out the cupboards because all my RPGs, well, half of them were in boxes and the other half were in carrier bags, which had the boxes on top of them, I realised. They'd all been flung in the cupboard when I moved in 9 years ago. And I thought, that's not good, particularly for things like Sky Realms of Jiroon sitting there extremely expensively mashed at the bottom of it. So I've been moving them all into nice regular-sized storage boxes and, finding such treasures.
Oh, that's lovely. My brother's going to give me back our teenage copies of Space Crusade and the Hero Quest because he's apparently clearing out space. And I'm like, well, so are we, but I can't imagine that should be thrown away. That'd be terrible.
No.
Well, I was trying to remember 3 different copies of Blood Bowl, and it's because I worked on the three different versions of it.
I've got a copy of that upstairs.
Lovely
polystyrene board. Bigger.
Second or third.
Big Splendid things. Are we supposed to be talking about Aconyte stuff today, Angela?
Maybe.
I forget.
No, so this is just our welcome to Expo, meet the team, let's chat and hang out for half an hour, talk about what we've been doing and what we're excited about and what our plans are for next year, maybe for Aconyte, and show off some pictures of the cute and fun things we've been doing. Don't worry, I've got loads.
Oh, that's lovely. There's pictures of your birds.
Oh, no pictures of my birds.
Oh, no. Have they been exiled from the room for now?
They have a cover over them because I knew that they would just be squawking all day. Lady Marmalade has just been flying and landing on my head, and it's too much.
Yeah, so all I heard was her screaming when we were talking earlier.
Well, perhaps she was trying to give an answer to the first question that we've received, everybody, which is to do with the German edition of Pym's The Fractured Void, the first ever Twilight Imperium novel. First of several, we're very pleased to say. In terms of release date, the team working on it are looking to publish in Germany starting in January. I couldn't tell you where Fractured Void is in that, but it's certainly part of the package. We haven't signed the final contract yet because I've been out this week, but that's one of the jobs for next week. And as soon as it's done, we'll announce who the publisher is. But they're a very good partner. and they're taking all the Aconyte books for Germany, and they'll be in regular bookstores and on Amazon Germany and so on. And as soon as we have more information, of course, we will tell people. But as far as I'm aware, the Fractured Void is coming to German, and it's likely to be in the spring of next year.
Woo!
No,
Alas, I can't remember the, looks to be a Greek name on that, but thanks for the question.
Yay! So,
yes, 7. It's planned as a loosely interconnected semi-trilogy, shall we say? In that it's a bunch of stories that are linked by characters that move across different areas. I don't know. We haven't announced that, have we? Wow, first exclusive of this.
Can't believe it. You've ruined it already. That's scheduled in for tomorrow's lunchtime.
Yeah, well, you guys are only here tonight.
This is what happens when you stick Marco in front of a camera.
Come back tomorrow at lunchtime and we'll reveal for you the cover as well.
Oh, we're showing off the cover tomorrow. How wonderful.
Yes.
Cover tomorrow. Yeah, make sure you're back for that one.
Now approved.
And in terms of French translation, the contract for those is also sitting waiting to be signed. And again, a very large publisher picking up the whole Aconyte package, and again looking to start the release of translated editions from January, February next year. All good bookstores and game stores, all being well. In the territories, we'd try and hook them up with the different bits of Asmodee so they can get into your hobby stores if that's where you'd rather buy them as well. But it is our plan for all Aconyte books to be available in the format you want, wherever you are. So, roll on many language translation deals. Audiobooks, we'll have some good news on very shortly as well. And of course, from us in English language paperbacks and ebooks starting on the 1st of September.
That's exciting.
I got a bit trigger happy there, sorry.
This is going to be pretty cool. Are we doing introductions and things?
Yeah, let's do some introductions because people are watching. Some people know some people. Let's go around. So,
there's the guy down there talking.
Who are you?
Oh, you want me to say more? That's
a little bit.
But briefly.
You know, that was that time I went to that Australian convention and did the guest of honor speech, and the guy asked me 2 questions, and I talked for an hour and a half.
It's okay, I can mute you.
I think one of them was, what's your name? Tell us about yourself. So, hello everyone, I'm Mark Gascoigne. I'm the publisher at Aconyte. Previously, you may know me from such hit shows as The Black Library and Angry Robot, Fighting Fantasy, Shadowrun, Earth Dawn, Blood Bowl, so many things. I've been around since 84. I was working out earlier. Tomorrow, I'm doing a talk with another old ass, James Wallace, at 11. We worked out between us, we have 74 years in the games industry, which is horrible. We almost decided to can it and just go to our retirement home. But basically, that's what the talk tomorrow is going to be. Anyway, hello, I'm Mark. I'm the boss of Aconyte. Apparently, I look after this lot, but I think it's more the other way around, isn't it?
Yeah. Nick, who are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Nick Tyler. I'm Aconyte's publishing coordinator. I do a lot of the stuff that's on the inside and outside of the books, making things pretty and making sure they go to print and they can get them ultimately, which is delightful. We've been doing a lot of cover art in the last couple of weeks, which is really cool. I work with Marco at Angry Robot 2 and also Lottie as you're here. So yeah, this is an all-consuming occupation, I find. It's great.
And Lottie, who are you?
Hi, I'm Lottie Lord-of-Mars. I'm the editor here at Aconyte. I wrangle authors and I make words happen, basically.
Fold them into puppies and flowers and monkeys.
Yeah, basically. I help our lovely authors. I go and find them. I help them work out what they're going to write. And then I get them writing. And when they've written their books, I'm the one who kind of helps them make them even better. So that's pretty much what I do. So I spend a lot of my time reading books. It's not a bad life, to be honest. Yeah,
it's quite an important role.
Yeah.
Do you find time to read non-Aconyte books, or are you just so eyeball deep in our manuscripts?
I do read non-Aconyte books, but I don't read the similar sort of thing to non-Aconyte books. So I do read outside of Aconyte, for to refresh my brain. And I previously I used to work at Angry Robot. I was intern and then editor there, and I was also editor at Black Library for a year. Yeah, that's me.
Good training ground for taking games into books, really, you'd thought.
Yeah.
And I'm Angeli, Marketing and Publicity Manager. I have never worked at Angry Robot or the Black Library.
Why are you even here? This is crazy.
Why am I even here?
Could be arranged.
Previously worked for Asmodee UK in the purchasing team. Now doing much more fun things with books in games that I love. So
You used to work in books before that, didn't you?
I did work in books before that as well. I was the events manager and a bookshop manager for Waterstones, which was very good fun. And now I'm back with books. Yay! But that's who I am. So now you know who we are. I think might show a little bit of what we've been up to in the lockdown.
This happy period.
The happy period of that is lockdown. So Nick, we're going to go with you because this is pretty new and it's pretty exciting, and I'm going to show off some pictures. I'd like you to talk about the pictures, tell us all the interesting things and all that.
That is nice in the picture. So I like Lego a lot, and I've been playing with Lego for a very long time. And this is a thing that I built during lockdown while working from home, and obviously working all the time during the day. I somehow found time to construct this, which I call my little temple of quiet contemplation, using a great deal of gold and sand green Lego that I've accumulated over the years. I like to build as like a process of accretion. Build a little thing and then just keep adding to it until it's so unwieldy that you can't move it, which was very close to a risk in this case. Very happy that I got to exhibit this one at Birmingham Lego store because I'm part of a Lego user group called Brick Central Lug. Lego user groups pretty much, very, very culty. And most Lego stores have a showcase space for local user groups for like adult fans of Lego to display the fancy things that they build. There is me looking ridiculously overly happy about this, which is delightful. Considering it has to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, I look pretty well for that. It was really nice.
By then,
I enjoy this one the most. It's like I could have popped it.
No. I'm glad you didn't, because it means that I've got my build like in the middle next to these gorgeous Lego Ideas, Lego Creator sets. Above my head is the new piano set, which is enormous. Pirates of Barracuda Bay behind me, the lovely ISS set, and the Moonlander. All beautiful things. And it's going to be in Birmingham for the next month, which is really cool. So people going in there can see the kind of stuff that you can do with Lego that you can't necessarily buy in a Lego set. It's quite an honor, and I'm very pleased with it, as you can tell from my stupidly shiny face there.
So what similarities, Nick, are there between, I guess, the Lego hobbyists and game hobbyists? Are there similarities?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's detail, isn't it? I mean, we like our RPGs because they're absurdly complex scenarios, and there are many rules and different ways of joining the scenarios together, and the people and the events that happen. Lego is kind of the same, but you do it more on your own with bits of plastic, which I guess is not that different from Hero Quest and Space Crusade, which are my introduction to that kind of gaming. It's fitting stuff together and building something new out of the same elements that you've already got. Yeah, you got Legends of the Five Rings rulebook. That's one thing. Every story in it is different. I think it's the same experience of building and exploring a new world, putting things back together in a different way.
I guess there's obviously an obvious parallel with modelling and miniatures and that sort of thing. And who's our miniatures builder? It's Angeli.
Well, that's true.
It is, but I'm not talking about me next. We're talking about Lottie next.
I was going to go freeform.
It would have been a really good segue, but I've already planned.
I'm going to ride off in it. Screw you.
That was very smooth. I'm going to talk about Lego some more instead. It's fine.
The next thing we're talking about.
So this is what Lottie makes in her spare time.
Yeah. I bought a puppy.
Look at.
To be honest, I haven't had it for the whole of lockdown. So yeah, she's 13 weeks old now. She's a tiny velociraptor who likes to eat people.
It's a dog, Lottie. Have you not noticed?
Yeah. She's called Biscuit. She's a standard dachshund who we think she's going to be long-haired because she's very fluffy. We started going for walks this week. So for the first time in about 6 months, I have left my house every single day this week.
Well done.
What a shocker.
It's a strange experience. And she likes sitting on the sofa and watching my husband play Fallout and FIFA in the evenings. She thinks that is amazing. She tries to play with the Xbox controller with her nose.
That's a very boofable nose. That's very demanding.
It is, yeah. So she's downstairs at the moment, I think. Yes, she's small and squeaky and very bitey at the moment because she's teething. She's very adorable, and we love her.
I think next I'd like to see her with a little saddle with a bunch of orc riders or something.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, we have a biscuit.
Do we have the beast in person? Oh,
Live shocker.
She said you have like a satellite. It's in Labyrinth.
Tonight, but
there you go.
Oh, Angeli, big picture.
I'm going.
Oh.
Yeah.
There is a small velociraptor.
She's so cute.
Such bright.
She's starting to work out like she can hear you guys, so she's starting to work out where sound comes.
Biscuit.
Yeah.
Oh. It's so freaking my cats out.
To be honest, most cats are bigger than she is, so
that's true. My boys would eat her.
No, don't give her any pocket
most of the
money.
neighborhood cats are bigger than she is. Yes, this is my tiny velociraptor.
Yeah, she's great. I approve. It has been nice to be at home for 6 months, actually. I've spent a lot more time with my cats, which is really nice, since I've been working entirely in an outside office. So I just get them running up and down trees around me and along fences. I had to abandon it because of the rain this afternoon, but apart from that, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, my birds go through stages of being very happy that I'm here and then very, very annoyed that I'm still here. Today they've been very nice and they've been wanting to hang out on my head and crawl up my legs, but the rest of the week they've not.
All of those apply to my teenage son as well, bizarrely.
Okay, so we're talking about miniatures. I didn't get any new pets, sadly, and I don't build Legos. Actually, I built half of the upside downs, just Stranger Things. I still haven't done the other part of it.
How have you not finished that? That's gorgeous.
On the other side, isn't it?
It is. Although it is exactly the same build to do the upside down, then you just stick them together. So I guess if you've done half of it, then you've sort of done everything.
Yeah.
I finished building some Lego dinosaurs. That was about it.
Yeah. I painted miniatures over. I still paint miniatures over the lockdown. So this was one from Reaper that I did. I wanted to make its wings look like butterfly wings. So that's what I did there.
It's so lovely.
Hang on, I'm just going to take the puppy downstairs before she eats my hand.
Yeah, I did this guy. He's a Reaper miniatures bust. It's the only resin bust that they did. I like him. He's cool. And Daisy. She's a mushroomancer. And she's out of print now. I had a lot of fun painting her and trying my hand at faces and doing a bust, which is a bigger scale than I'm used to. And you have to concentrate.
The freckles on that particularly charming, I think, Angela. Well done.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
Twice to realise it's a model.
I used to paint miniatures when I was a teenager, and they didn't look like this. They look more like there's a lot more like I just dunked them in a tin of gloss paint and then taken it out. But this is really neat work.
Well, these days, that's what you do, of course, with the army painter stuff.
Yeah, or the new contrast. Just dip. Oh, no.
Well, no, I remember like the ink washes and dry brushing, which I enjoyed a great deal. And I think I've still got all my Citadel paints in a box in the garage. I should dig them out and see if they're still liquid. Well,
if they're acrylics, aren't they? So at the very least, you may be able to re-water them because they're not all.
That's true. Some of them are really nice. Some lovely golds and silvers.
I assume they last. I was very much from the Humbrol generation, as my teenage bedroom carpet attested. For those that was trying to nick it accidentally or knock whole pots of stuff over.
I certainly filled a lot of our carpet with what's the glue, plastic glue, poly cement stuff. Yeah, that makes a horrible mess of carpet. Very unfortunate. Oh, we're getting questions again.
We do. We have one here. Do you have any new properties not announced under the carpet?
Well, see, if we are we announcing any new properties this weekend? Or are we just showing the covers and some new titles?
One that we're announcing at 7. The
thing. Okay.
The thing, the stuff.
The shape thing.
But suffice to say, Kevin, we are certainly working to expand our range, and indeed, we have 3 distinct new game-related book lines taking shape under the carpet, as we say, or behind the curtains. Polished floors, easy. And can't possibly tell you about them because the contracts are not yet signed. But for 2 of the 3, the contracts are with the people at the other end to sign any moment. And the third one, which I know the guys here thought had gone away, came back very strong, and I've agreed all terms this week.
Hey! Oh, that's splendid. Oh, good. I do know what that is. That's excellent news.
So all 3 of these, so we can't go into too much detail, but they're all based on existing game lines. They're an expansion to the Asmodee, what we call the Asmodee strand, though it's Asmodee and Friends, but they're all big game brands, and they're all looking to schedule the first ones of those around this time next year. Maybe a show off at Gamma or Origins. Maybe if Expo is back in its spring slot next year, we'll be showing off the first covers and so on there, and then be looking to show them off properly in person from August, September onwards next year.
Ooh, that's exciting.
But yes, lots more of this stuff. Our aim, is to become the people who do fiction based on the best, most imaginative game worlds. And for us, that can include video games, tabletop games, board games, miniatures games. All it takes is for the world to be so rich that the stories are bursting out of it. And we're finding the stuff we're working on now, there's an unending supply of great stories and characters and situations coming, and very talented authors who want to work in them. And can't wait to work with Lottie to start populating these new IPs as well. IPs, that's what we call them, intellectual properties, don't you know? The worlds. But the short answer is yes.
You just can't know what they are.
Can't actually say, alas. No, timing isn't always right on these things, particularly with summer holidays. Folks heading off for lengthy vacations means things are moving a little slow on some of these, but we're getting there.
And there have been a few delays this year for all sorts of reasons that no one would recognise.
Collapse of Western civilization. Well, we'll be there in the shelters distributing stuff carved into rocks. Here's the latest Aconyte tie-in. We're not going to stop.
That's true. It's been 18 months we've been doing this stuff now, isn't it?
Blimey,
just over 18 months, 19 months. Yep.
Yeah, you guys, February last year.
That's right. It's been quite a crazy ride of activity.
Publishing books. What the hell are you playing at?
Oh, no, wait. Really? We should really.
I've been here almost 9 months.
Do you have those ones ready?
Oh, you could waggle those in front of the camera, couldn't
you? We could. We have a few lovely things. Yeah, I am struggling with that back to front camera. I know. That's really throwing me. Like I'm looking into a mirror.
I'll zoom in on you.
But hey, look, you can read them because if
it's blown my mind, I can't figure out what directions to move them in. So our first Arkham horror novel, Wrath and Nakai, by Josh Reynolds, and Tales from the Crucible Keyforge anthology. I can't. This drives me crazy looking at my hands. Can't tell which hand is which. And they're both kind of gorgeous books. These, of course, we got printed earlier in the year when we had a publishing schedule before it all got shifted. So these are the first ones that we have available to us. I'm really excited about getting the next lot. They are really, aren't they? They're really shiny.
And you're the one that made them look pretty.
So. With a great deal of help.
So they're the first 2. They're coming out September in the US and October over here in the UK. There are copies in the UK already and heading out from the warehouse to the wholesalers, distributors, bookstores, and so on.
Yes, so if you are a gamer, make sure you go to your friendly local gaming shop and demand that they pre-order them. We're selling them to game shops via Asmodee UK. So get your game shops to buy them in for you. Asmodee have got some good deals on them for them. So do it.
Bookshops are good too, of course.
And yeah, we love bookshops. But if you are a gamer and you're here for the game.
It's nice to be able to go back into bookshops. I'm looking forward to that a great deal. It's something going and browse again. Not that we have any shortage of books at home, but I'd like to see new books and other books that I've been desiring for some time.
I have run out of shelves, so I just mostly read digital books right now. So.
Oh, man.
Well, one of the issues we are going to see is the kind of squashing together of everyone's schedules. First week in October, which is when our books arrive in the UK, there are 238 new books hitting the UK bookstore shelves. And we'll be a part of that. So but we'll be the only ones also available in your local game store. So actually, perhaps using the game store is not a bad route to get them. We're obviously available online and in ebooks as standard from all the standard vendors. So however you access them.
And audio too.
Audio in due course. Audio we're playing catch up on because the signable contract is in my inbox as of yesterday.
Can't believe you took a week off. Madness. Okay. What kind of time was that?
I know. Well, all you buggers had holidays, so I thought about it.
That's true. Yeah, they were all very poorly timed and problematic. Been that kind of a year from, hasn't it? There's sort of months of weird quiet of working from home, but as soon as you take leave, everything goes to pot. That's all right. We'll catch up. But it has been exciting. I really like the stuff that we're working with. I like the range from Legends of the Five Rings, which is just gorgeous, samurais and dragons and magic, which is just lovely. Nice little bit of cosmic horror. And then the madness of Keyforge. I've been looking through looking at Keyforge artwork today for the for possible future Keyforge stuff, and it's all gorgeous and pretty, and so it all glows, bounces off the page.
I love it. It's like very cartoony and fun. But
Keyforge has been the biggest surprise because not least because none of us were expecting all the role play stuff that's now starting to come for the Genesis system. And the Genesis source book for Keyforge is, I don't know, we're allowed to say mental. It's certainly pretty out there. It's so wild, like somewhere between Lost in Space and Mars Attacks and Saturday Morning TV and talking dinosaurs and Viking bikers and all sorts of crazy.
That's true. And Angie's doing something with Keyforge tomorrow, aren't you?
I am, and I was just going to come on to that.
Tomorrow?
So let me bring up this. So over the weekend, we've got loads of things going on. If you go onto our Twitter, onto the Facebook main page, we've put up a schedule of all the places you can find us and what we're up to. We have some meet the teams sort of things, much like this at lunchtimes on Saturday and on Sunday. We'll be playing some games together. We'll be hanging out and chatting, and we'll be showing off some new and exciting things, as hinted. The Fractured Void, some exclusive stuff tomorrow at lunchtime for that. So do come back if you're interested in the Twilight Imperium novels. Tomorrow at 11, Mark and James Wallace from Green Game Studio are going to be doing a fireside talk, sort of chat about making games into novels. Very informal, but very informative.
And novels into games as well.
And novels into
the other way.
Then I am doing a chat with David Geimer tomorrow at 2, where we will be doing an exclusive reveal of something and having a chat together. Very exciting. And then I'm talking to Richard Lee Byers about Marvel, all things Marvel, his book, and how very excited he is about it. And then, as was hinted, I have a Tales from the Crucible, wrong one, Keyforged RPG that is going on tomorrow on the UK Games Expo Twitch channel rather than our Facebook, and it's going to be amazing. I have 5 of the authors from the anthology playing their characters from the anthology in a new story that I wrote. I'm super nervous because I'm not a writer and I've had to write a story for people who get paid to write stories. But none of them know how to RPG, so at least I have that on them.
I was going to ask you if any of them have gamed particularly RPGs before. Is it brand new for all of them?
I think Thomas Parrott has done some small amounts. No one has used the Genesis system before, so we're all completely new to the Genesis system. And I think David Geimer's done a little bit, but Tristan, you're in chat. Have you done any RPG stuff before? You're there to us. And then Robbie McNiven's in there and MK Hutchins. Completely new to
well, this is the magic of UK Games Expo, where even newbies can find the games of their dreams and get completely lost trying to understand them.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to watching the RPG.
So if you if you were looking to learn how to play the Genesis system, you're not going to be very happy because there is super rules light on it.
You'll see a way of playing it. I've been playing.
It would be right, but we'll have fun.
We've been doing the same.
Tristan says a long time ago. So,
oh, distant past.
Hi, Tristan.
In which case, they're the most experienced player, unquestionably.
And Tristan also asked us, which games have we been playing at home or digitally during lockdown?
I've done role playing for the first time during lockdown, which has been interesting. A friend of mine does a lot of DMing of Star Wars games. It's Empire's Edge of Empire. I keep saying it the wrong way around. The FFG Star Wars scenario. So we've been doing that. We're playing.
Unless you do know how to use the Genesis system.
Well, I'm not good with dice. We're playing it all online, and it's all kind of done for you. And our DM's nice enough that he just says, "Press the damn button," and then he tells me if I'm dead or not. I've been shot quite badly several times. I think we're halfway through an escapade, and I think I've lost most of the feeling in one side of my body, which is a problem because I'm playing a Tusken Raider, and my Bantha is still on the ship. It's very challenging. We're all very bad people. I made it all out of Lego, so it's not actually. I've got that here. I made our entire party out of Lego. I can't do this. That is me. I'm a Tusken Raider, and I carry a protocol droid on my back. Yep, and we've got in the middle we've got the droids who diagnose Padme in episode 3 as being too sad to live, and a range of other murderous scoundrels. And that's been a lot of fun. I've not done role playing properly before, and we're playing kind of fast and loose with the rules, but it's been really good fun.
Your characters sound a lot like the characters from my Starfinder campaign.
Are they all idiots too?
So I mean, I've been playing a lot of so I play in a weekly. So I play once a week, but 1 week I play D&D, and 1 week I play Starfinder in 2 different campaigns. And our Starfinder characters, we thought we were trying to be good people, but now we've kind of ended up as like an odd combination of like Suicide Squad crossed with Guardians of the Galaxy. We're just not particularly good people, but we try. And we have a ship called the Pile of Garbage. No, the Pile of Junk. Sorry, we have a ship called the Pile of Junk.
Oh, nice. Our spaceship is called the Iron Butterfly.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, ours is just a pile of garbage. A literal pile of garbage.
We landed it in another spaceship by crashing it into it, because we don't have like a docking connector. So I couldn't think of how else we could get around the airlock problem.
No, we're just not very good people. But our D&D campaign we're slightly better, and it's been a lot of fun playing a couple of different characters and things like that. So I have a barbarian in one game, and an android spy in another. They're both disasters. Absolute
That's
disaster.
a surprise.
Yeah, no. Surprisingly,
really... How odd that's your character.
Yeah, they're both disasters, and I love them. And what made me laugh was my sister is also playing in our Starfinder campaign. She'd never RPG'd before, and we designed our characters separately. And then my husband is DMing, and he was like, "Oh, did you guys know that you've created separately really identical characters?" So that was really fun. With slightly different classes, but very similar. So that was really funny.
That's cool.
I've been playing Blackstone Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
I've only just started getting into it. It's Warhammer Fortress. One, you play co-op, and you have to get through the fortresses, your characters, and you get little level ups, and you got miniatures, and you chase around, and it's quite fun and silly. And I had a bird person, which is the one I really wanted, and they died real quick. So
okay, what do you expect?
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
now I'm not
hollow
playing.
bones on the battlefield, not a good idea.
It's it's a rework of FFG's Warhammer Quest rework, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's kind of
it uses silly dice. It uses many dice. It doesn't. Yeah.
Yes, to answer Katie Davis's question, yes, it is very GURPS-like. It's an underlying system genesis that applies to a whole bunch of different settings, and certainly all the different Fantasy Flight generated settings, for the most part, use Genesis system or something similar. And there's a whole bunch of source books, obviously including the Keyforge one that we referred to.
And Kevin asked another one. Will there be any sort of crossover between game content and book content for Arkham Horror especially? Are you happy with the way people did react to the announcement of the first Aconyte novels? So 2 questions there.
Oh,
so
yes.
Are we happy with the reaction to our novels that are upcoming? I say yes.
Yeah, people seem really excited. That was great.
Yeah, we get some really good reviews that are coming out, and I'm really excited to get these into people's hands personally.
What I've seen is, and obviously for some of the worlds, particularly Arkham and L5R, there are the existing novellas, and there is a storyline playing through the living card games that is being catered for. But we certainly know that the appetite for fiction and for the storytelling aspects of these games would deserve more novels, frankly. And we're very happy to be continuing the tradition of Arkham and L5R fiction. But for things like Twilight Imperium, these stories are way overdue. It's such a rich lore behind the game, and the game, of course, is so epic. But you can't help but storytell as you play out these great galaxy-smashing forces through the almost unceasing experience of playing a typical Twilight Imperium game. It's going to be fabulous taking the stories for a world like that into areas that people haven't seen before. We do work very closely with the game developers. So for the Twilight Imperium particularly, we were very much privy to the content of the upcoming expansion set and all the secrets to be revealed. I don't think it's too strong a word with Twilight Imperium that are coming in the expansion set. The revelations even, and there are aspects of those mirrored in our fiction as well. In some cases, it's then going to feed back into the game. For Arkham, for example, we continue to tell the stories of some of the existing investigators. Who's the librarian lady who's in Litany of Dreams, particularly?
I want to say Jenny Barnes.
It is Jenny Barnes, who's I see on the cover.
I apologise if I get it wrong. But we also have a couple of the other investigators popping up. So, for example, in Wrath of Nakai, you'll see Tommy Muldoon popping up. You'll see Preston Fairmont in The Last Ritual, along with a couple of other characters. So we do see some of the existing investigators, but a lot of our protagonists are new characters who haven't some of them haven't been to Arkham before. Some of them are kind of starting to learn things that are going on. So in some places, it's the investigators, the investigators from the game, maybe giving them a helping hand or kind of pointing them in the right direction. So it's kind of a bit of both. We kind of get some of the existing characters, but then we get a lot of new characters. And I'm really, really excited because all of our authors have worked really hard and come up with some really cool stories. I'm reading a new Arkham novel right now, and it's really good. Because I can do that because I just sit in Arkham.
And in due course, we expect some of these characters, situations, settings to feed back into the games. In a couple of cases, we are working so tightly with the game developers that we are deliberately using some of the fiction to link between elements of the game, and you'll see that in due course. Others, we're simply telling stories set in the worlds, and where the characters fit, they'll move into the game over time. Similarly, some of the game fiction, things like the novellas, will ultimately end up feeding into what we do, and vice versa. And it would be fabulous, yes, to feature as Cameron's asking there. Hello, Cameron.
Hey, Cameron.
How you doing? Hope you're well. To feature this stuff. The one thing we find fascinating about working alongside our gaming pals is because they're working on big box sets of stuff, and then the expansion, the spin-off with it, their lead times. We thought the lead times for books was a long way out, but they're planning stuff for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6+ years in advance. And plans reshape and change and come to a head across that time. So for some stuff, we're working closely with them. For other stuff, it's you know, in 3 years' time, when we get to this, perhaps we'll think about doing this, and you guys could do this. Oh, yes, we'll be there for that. And when you take the story to this part, oh, we could do some fiction that, fills in the gaps or whatever. And obviously, I'm having to speak a little guardedly. Some of these are not going to be announced for some time. Some of these won't even come to fruition as well. But we are plotting stuff for 2021, 22, 23, and further out that will make fiction run very much in parallel with some of the games. But for all of them, the adventures are there because the worlds are rich and exciting, and the games based on these worlds have a longevity. We'd like to think the fiction, even if there wasn't a game, is good enough to stand alongside it. That's certainly Lottie's aim.
Yeah, I mean, I think these books are awesome. I love them very much.
That's good.
It is. It's very good news. I don't know. Yeah, I read them all, and I really love working with our authors to help bring these books to life. And just, it's so interesting to see what stories they come up with and how they bring these worlds to life. And what I love is that they all approach it slightly differently, which gives us so many different cool stories. Like we say to our authors, would you like to pitch for Arkham Horror? And they'll all come up with slightly different ideas based on their own interests and based on how they experience the game and they're what they're interested in writing. And it means we get some really, really wonderful stories. And I'm super excited for people to read them and for all of our books, because I think there's something for everybody in our books, depending on the sort of things you like to read. So yeah, I hope that there's really something for everybody and that you'll get to see loads of different cool things in our books. They're not all the same story, and all the worlds are so different. We have, they're just really cool books, and I would wax lyrical about like some of them. I don't have like an overall favorite, and I can't because they're all, I love them all. But yeah, there are several characters.
Again, either would they? If it's like, oh yeah, we particularly like Tristan's book. Everyone else would be like, what? What the hell?
I mean, we do love Tristan's book, but
is splendid.
It is absolutely splendid. And there's many of our characters that I could probably do like a TED talk on because I love them so much. But
we'll find.
But that's one of the keys, though, isn't it? Yeah, if the characters are right, they're just as it was with Black Library and Gaunt's Ghosts and Gotrek and Felix and many other of those characters. That we get the characters right, people will follow them through a whole bunch of stories, and then ultimately, perhaps some of them will feed back into the games as lead characters or bit parts, or as we're seeing with Eisenhorn from Black Library, one of Dan Abnett's best creations, potentially even fueling a TV show or something like that. So it's early days for us, but already we can see how this could work. And if everyone really likes them, well, we'll keep making them.
Yay!
Actually, we're going to keep making them whether don't care.
Either way, we'll just continue making them because we like them. Yay!
It's true. I need more books.
So we've got one more question, then we're going to have to wrap it up because we do have another stream at 7 for a new thing. So I got to swap and change all the bits and pieces.
Yeah. Are we doing this again tomorrow?
We're doing another one of these tomorrow whilst playing games. Nick and I sorted out how to use Tabletopia, so we're going to play some games like Flux, as a favourite.
Don't you give me that face, Mark. You love Flux.
So Katie Davis says they play Arkham Horror with the family. What kind of age range would you say the books are coming out would be suitable for?
I would say like older teen to adult. So I don't know, 13 plus.
Yeah, 12.
13 plus.
They're not
12, 13 plus. So they're kind of, 13 plus, I would say. That's the sort of age range that we aim for.
And Andrew's question, turn up tomorrow and ask that again, because that's going to require a good half an hour with some slides, I think, to answer that one. The answer right now is yes, but. So we'll leave that one with you, and we'll come back and answer it properly tomorrow.
Yes, I will make a note of this one, Andrew. So when we come back at 12 tomorrow for our lunch, that will be the first question we look at. Okay, so we'll be back in Mark and I will be back in 15 minutes with a special announcement. So please do stick around. We're We just got to do some switching and changing, and then we'll be back.
I'm just going to order some pizza, mate. I don't know about you.
Yeah, and get
that's a good idea.
drink something and eat a little tiny bit of food. But yes.
Oh, Danielle's here. Hello, Danielle.
Danielle.
Another part of our team from across the ocean.
Yay.
Catan were on. I wonder why they're here.
Yeah, Catan were here and Danielle's here, and we will be back in 15 minutes. So we're just going to get something to drink and we'll be right back. Thank you everyone for coming, and see you in a minute. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Ladies.
Bye.